This is session 6 of the first half of the Ops track. There is a lot going on today, so we like to remind people just in case they are like not sure what's going on anymore. Ali, we are very excited to have you back. You're one of the very rare returning speakers for Hot Takes Live.
Love it. Love to be here. Thank you
Yes,
for having me again.
and your session, I cannot wait to hear more, is around go to market. Go to market is a hot mess if you cannot execute. So,
Exactly. All right. So, hi, everyone. So, my name is Rastiello. I am the VP of marketing, or I'm sorry, RevOps at Health Catalyst. Um, I've been there for about 8 months or so. It's a really great company. Um, I love to cook. My signature dish is crawfish cornbread. Someday I'll beat Bobby Flay with it because I'm obsessed with that show and Bobby Flay. But well, that's a topic for another day. What we're going to talk about today is our data. Everyone knows that data is king. That's what you hear constantly, but only if you can use it. We're always being asked to make data driven decisions, to do more with less. Great. I'm so excited to do that. Would love to spend less money, have less resources and be able to really, activate that revenue in a better way. Except I can't because a lot of times the data doesn't live where it needs to be. I think that's a huge problem for everyone. The data isn't actionable. And what do I mean by actionable? I mean, you need to build a rock solid foundation for being able to automate campaigns, drive segmentation, reporting, contracting, moving data between systems, all of those things that your marketing and sales teams need in order to do really smart marketing, really smart sales, and making it an effortless sales process for both your sellers and your customers. Without having that foundation, it is so difficult. I like to liken it as a roller coaster. So the data is the tracks on the roller coaster, and you've got to be able to allow the cars, right, your business to be on that roller coaster, go all the way up the climb, down those backsides, flip and turn and twist and meet every obstacle along the way from the market, from just the economy, like whatever is happening in the world that's affecting your business and your sales and marketing team, and the way that you need to be able to pivot really quickly. If you have any gaps, you run into a lot of problems in all of your automated processes. Your processes will fail. You won't be able to easily be agile and be able to move quickly to do the things that you need to do as an organization. So, what I would recommend is that you sit down with your marketing and sales teams and develop a data strategy before you try to do anything else. If you're like, walked into a company that's a hot mess, that would be my first conversation with everybody is what does the foundational data look like? And if it is not in the place that it's actionable, what do we do to get there? What is our segmentation strategy? Who is our personas? Can we, really define them in the systems and be able to run automated campaigns or feed the sales teams the right way? What is our top accounts or what do our target accounts look like? Do we have a way to action those in the system? Do we have a way to have lead to account matching so we see everyone that's involved in that account? There's so many things that you need to think about, from a data perspective. And then once you have that strategy, you need to invest in technologies that automate cleaning, standardizing, enriching, and transforming data. This is what makes your plan scalable. I will go on my soapbox and say that in a year or two, maybe less, maybe more, I don't know, a data orchestration platform is going to be as important as your CRM and as your marketing automation platform. Some people think marketing automation platforms are going away. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that can do all the things that Marketo can do from an activity tracking and campaign execution standpoint. But who knows? Maybe it will. I don't know. But I do know that data orchestration tool is going to be very key. My personal favorite that I've used is OpenPrize, but there are other options out there on the market. I would also then create a governance committee, because it's not just sales and marketing that are using that data. Your finance teams probably are. Your customer success teams are. Maybe even your legal teams are. There's so many different parts of the business that have to touch that data. Make sure that other people aren't coming in and creating automations that may break yours, or dirtying up data that you're actively trying to clean on a regular basis. And so my key takeaway here is that you need to invest in your systems and processes to create a strong data foundation that powers scalable growth.
Love it. Thank you, Ali.
You're welcome.
This was great. So if there are questions from the audience, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll pick them up from there. I would love to double click on a couple of things. So loved the
Yes.
Roller coaster analogy. That feels very much on point. And then,
yes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering, you were talking about companies that are a hot mess. How many companies would you say are a hot mess, like give or take, when it comes to data management, data strategy, like what you've seen out there?
I'll be honest. I haven't yet met a company that doesn't struggle with this challenge. I talk to people all the time, right? And
Yeah.
I've worked, this is probably my 5th tech company that I've worked in, and it is a problem across the board. Whether
Yes.
it is a big, huge mess or a small mess, it's still a problem. Like the company I work in now, we have a much smaller TAM. We're just, a medical,
Right.
we sell to hospitals. So
Yeah.
our TAM is small, which just makes our data set much smaller. So it's a little bit easier to keep that clean.
Right.
But when you're in a bigger organization, or when you're going through a lot of M&A activities,
Right.
I worked in an organization that had at one point, let's see, 3 Salesforces, 2 Marketos, and a Pardot that I had to manage.
Yeah, I
Because
was
of
about to
M&A,
mention that,
right?
actually. You have a
Yeah.
Marketo, and a Salesforce, and a Pardot, and like an amplitude, and a segment.
Exactly. Yeah, the M&A strategy, when you reach a point where you've got multiple systems because of M&A strategy, I mean,
Right.
a data orchestration tool is literally the only thing that's going to save you from doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. So a couple of questions from the audience. Heather is asking, what vendors do you have love for? Who should be on our radar to explore, coming from a scale-up company that doesn't have a data orchestration layer? So,
I mean, I love OpenPrize, but I will say that they are very pricey, and
Okay.
maybe not, an organization that can, and they may not fit all sizes of organizations.
Right.
I would say look into ZoomInfo, because they've been buying some little pieces of data orchestration.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that they're a full data orchestration platform just yet, but they do have elements that they can do lead to account matching, which to me is huge in some of the things that we're looking to do as a company. And I think a lot of people are. You constantly are always wondering, who all are you talking to in the account? It's really hard when you don't have lead to account matching to see that in Salesforce.
Yeah. And Alberto as well was asking data platform that you liked. I'm guessing that it goes in the same direction as an answer.
Exactly. Yes, it's the same thing, right? Those are the 2 that I've explored. Integrate was another one that I used in the past. I don't know how much they've really evolved over the years. They were really in the more about like how you are bringing in top of funnel leads from media sources, like if you were doing content syndication and things like that. That's what we use them for years and years ago. I know the platforms evolved since then, but I don't know to what degree. And then also, there's your enrichment platforms too, right? Like ZoomInfo and any of those other ones. We have to use Definitive Healthcare, which is all, hospitals and hospital data. So those things are super key to that data
Yeah.
orchestration piece.
One thing that I find fascinating about your session, I think the underlying message there is that you're essentially offering kind of a triaging framework. You get into a company, you assess what the situation is, and then you use that as a jumping off point. And it's essentially a way to anchor like all the strategy conversations, all the strategy talks, all the strategy people to reality.
Yes, 100%.
Right.
Most of the time, they have no idea that they
Yeah.
can't do these things they're asking for. I
Right.
mean, or that something's even wrong. Like
Yeah.
they've been executing a certain way for so long, and you're like, how are you doing that if your life
How
cycle
do you
is,
know? Like,
you
where is the
know,
data supporting
yeah,
that?
exactly. Like if you, for instance, don't have the same statuses on lead and contact records, how are you creating a fluid life cycle?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
can't really answer that, and they didn't quite really understand that it was broken, or maybe they knew it was broken and they had no idea how to fix it. It was something
Mhm.
as simple as like, let's just make some matching values.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really an assessment, and then like, where do you start? What's the low hanging fruit? Where are the big gaps, and what do you need to go purchase
For
in order
sure.
to fill those gaps?
I'm curious about your reaction to this, but I think, like, if I think about this specific topic, I feel that one of the fundamental fallacies of people in thinking about data is that they think about data as something that's static and fixed in time, while the reality is that completely the opposite. It's kind of
Yeah.
a living and breathing thing that changes, evolves, like data from today, tomorrow, the day after, the next month, next quarter is going to be a different thing.
Yep.
So you need to think about it in that more fluid, almost probabilistic type of way, more than deterministic one. Would you agree with that?
100%. I mean, you're constantly bringing in new leads, hopefully.
Yeah,
If
and
your
enriching
marketing,
those and
if your marketing is doing the right thing,
well, we
you're
hope like
constantly bringing in new leads.
yeah,
Your salespeople are constantly adding information,
or they
people to
should, or
accounts,
fire
or
them. Yeah,
should be right. So there's always things getting added to the system
yeah,
that you need to make sure are cleansed or put in the right way,
right,
or standardized in a way that you can action them and that they feed into all of your automated processes.
right.
And your automated processes will change over time.
Yeah,
As you release new products that maybe fit a different segment of the market, or as you grow and realize, hey man, we've been an SMB company for so long, but
right,
if we really want to grow, we have to hit mid-market and enterprise companies.
right,
How do we do that? That's a whole change in strategy and marketing motion, and even sales motion.
right.
So you've got to be fluid and be at a place where you can just say, I got you, and like be able to pivot all of that in the systems where it's not this like overwhelming, thing to go do because your
Also,
systems
because
aren't
by
set
the
up.
time you get there, it's gonna be different. Like data.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
So one
Exactly.
last question before letting you go from Christoph. Really good one. How do you successfully empower reps to use the insights from the data? Often our reps miss golden nuggets in the data we give them. Do you use Slack notifications, direct in CRM, Chrome extensions? What's the story there?
Yeah. I mean, you can do all of those things, but I still think they won't read them. I mean, that's just
Okay.
real, right? Um, we usually do quarterly readouts of information, like good nuggets. If it's something that's an alert needed, we'll usually send alerts to their emails so that they know like to go action something, or maybe to a
Mhm.
task in Salesforce. If it's something like really important, like, hey, this lead is doing all kinds of stuff on the website, maybe you should check it out.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But I think like the true insights come from your analysts, come from people that live and breathe that data every day and
Yeah.
can know what to look for. And then you have some sort of, quarterly readout or biweekly readout. We have a weekly sales meeting, a pipeline meeting that we
Right.
reserve some time for, that allows our analysts to kind of just say, hey, we saw this, we've been seeing this trend, you might want to be looking for that.
Awesome. Ali, thank you so very much. And to the audience, thank you for watching. Let Ali know how their session was with the quick survey that you can find in the chat. We are going to take a break for lunch and be back at 12:40 Eastern. See you there.